You do the crime, you do the time, right? Nobody likes a criminal, and here in the United States, we pay $106,000 to house an inmate per year. Strip them of all their belongings and label them a slave of the state. While still keeping their First Amendment rights, such as freedom of speech, inmates give up their right to privacy, including random searches, on top of being locked behind prison walls 24/7. While well deserved for the crimes they committed, they should not have to deal with corrupt correctional officers. I agree with the idea behind the Department of Corrections' mission to facilitate the successful reintegration of the individuals in our care back to their communities. Sounds like problem solved, right? Not when the correctional officers whose job is to secure the premises have been manipulated and corrupted by inmates, contributing and feeding to the problem. Firstly, we'll look at the many ways correctional officers can become corrupt. Second, look at how corruption affects the inmates and also causes problems for their fellow officers. Lastly, we'll look at solutions and ideas for a better, safer stay for inmates. Let's look at how officers who took an oath to protect and serve can become corrupt. Three of the reasons a officer can become a criminal themselves are because of corruption, very low pay, and manipulation. Corruption is a major issue in our prisons and jails today because it opens up the door for gangs and organized crime to strive. Lawyers of Walk Free Law state that sometimes an inmate will use coercion and threaten a prison official or their family if he or she does not comply and smuggle contraband into the prison. It is very hard to resist temptation of bribes when from wealthy inmates or criminal organizations, but it is their job. Close your eyes and imagine being unarmed on a level 4 prison yard where some of the most dangerous inmates are housed. How much will they need to pay you? June 22nd, 2015, an article of Aaron Futch. Chris mentioned told Business Insider it's been referred to as the bottom rung in the career ladder in criminal justice. This is considered dirty work. Your life in danger every day, yet not worth better pay. Makes it easy to accept bribes for bringing in contraband or other favors for a price. Dealing with convicts on a day to day basis while working, your every move being watched for a flaw that can be taken advantage of. Unfortunately, some officers fall into manipulation. January 30th, 2023, Matthew Ormseth of the Los Angeles Times. In 2022, 6,776 phones were seized in California prisons, down from 10,494 in 2019. They are smuggled in by correctional officers and free staff. The armies of cooks, counselors, electricians, nurses, and other employees who service the prison. I want to now shine light on how deep corruption runs, the dangers and problems it creates for the convicts and the COs. This major issue going on in the Department of Correction cannot be blamed on one person. June 25th, 2015, Dr. Michael Patero of AMU. I can attest to the fact that corruption is not limited to correctional officers. Corruption can exist among all prison employees, including administrators, officers, teachers, counselors, law librarians, maintenance workers, and other staff members. With so many people contributing to the problem, it's no wonder prison and jails are flooded with drugs, weapons, and other illegal contraband. Locked behind bars, surrounded by correctional officers, cameras, and barbed wire fences, there must be another way contraband makes its way into the facility, with which creates serious problems for inmates. Year of 2016, Law School of Columbia. Right. Corruption in prisons causes problems that go far beyond dishonesty on part of the employees. First, correctional officers, as well as other inmates, are frequently injured by smuggled weapons. For a quick dollar, these officers put everyone's life at risk. A correctional officer who has been bribed by an inmate and now sees an opportunity that benefits themselves doesn't take into consideration the dangers he puts himself in, but also his fellow officers who he swore to protect. June 27, 2015, Ashley Fans with CNN. Cell phones are used to kill. A prisoner ordered a hit on a guard known for cracking down on prisoners' possession of phones in South Carolina. After looking at the reasons for corrosion within the walls of the Department of Corrections, those at risk, both inmate and officers, we will now look at or for solutions for these major problems. One of the keys to bringing a stop to the issue of corrupt correctional officers is hiring staff that are committed to upholding the law. In 1984, P.J. McCarthy, U.S. Department of Justice. Factors that undermine the formal control structure of the prisons are friendship with inmates, reciprocal relationships, and staff reliance on inmates to perform certain staff duties. Officers willing to do such acts need to be replaced. The ugly feeling of being unappreciated affects anybody's performance at work, including the stressful job of a CEO. May 12, 2022. Robert LeFleur of Washington Examiner. This on top of having to assess dangers, recognize threats, maintain the orderly operations of so many institutions, keep all inmates safe, and prevent inmates from escaping. At first glance, it seems like a job for a superhero. Yet, wages reflect otherwise. Another important factor in solving these problems is staff shortages. September 14, 2022, American Addiction Center staff writes guards are exhausted, traumatized, and often ignored and shunned if they express any weariness or misgivings about the work they are required to do, making it easy to take their frustrations out on inmates. More staff and less stress can help this problematic situation. My goal with all this is to bring awareness to a problem that not many put interest in. We touch base first on the corrupt officers of the Department of Corrections. Second, the effects and dangers corruption causes for staff and inmates. Third, ideas on solutions that might help this serious problem. Even a person who's committed crimes and has to spend time under the watch of these officers deserve to be safe on their stay. We need to find a system to weed out the bad apples in the Department of Corrections, helping keep safe everyone behind the walls. In the end, I do not believe correctional officers are corrupt, nor do I believe these criminals are innocent. Many of them know and find weaknesses within the department. Convicts who are masters of manipulations may be a big reason why this is such a big problem, big issue across the nation. A solution must be found.